right arm back.
I get those goosebumps every time. I need the Heimlich, throw that to the side. I get those goosebumps every time.
Good afternoon, everybody. So we're going to do something a little bit different today. So I have a lot of young viewers on my YouTube page, and one of the primary inquiries I've gotten via email and comments are from young athletes asking about special programming, special workouts, special diet, just looking for the key, the magical key. So I thought it would be a good time to sort of look at the University of Michigan's new strength and conditioning coach for some of these answers. I do believe this gentleman is one of the top 10 best strength and conditioning guys in collegiate athletics, and let's talk about this a little bit. So, as I said, Michigan, they just hired a new director of strength and conditioning. His name is Ben Herbert. If you're a Big Ten fan, you probably remember him with Wisconsin, and he also has been at Arkansas, and I believe played football at Wisconsin. So what I want to do is kind of talk about why I think he's one of the best and what you all can learn from him. So you guys know I'm a big Michigan fan, but this really isn't about Michigan football whatsoever. It's really about these core principles in programming, strength and conditioning, that really apply to, whether you're a 50-year-old woman or a 20-year-old college kid. So to take a step back here, just my background, I'm an athletic trainer by trade. Between my career as an athletic trainer, my career in the medical device realm, involvement in bodybuilding, it's been cool because I've gotten to know and meet and work with a lot of strength and conditioning specialists and coaches, as well as other athletic trainers. One thing that I find very odd in this business, it applies to athletic training and strength and conditioning coaches, is the good ones are really good and the bad ones are really bad. And it's shocking how many truly just ill-equipped ones that there are. So I want to look at this gentleman, Ben Hur Burton, and kind of some of his core principles, and kind of compare that to some things I've seen and how you can apply it to your own program. So first off, one thing I love about this guy is his focus on nutrition. It is his core, his foundation on everything he builds on. He says the old, you can't out-train a poor diet. You don't hear a lot of strength coaches saying this. I can tell you right now, it's not nearly as common as you think. Secondarily, it goes along with the nutrition section. He's not just concerned about gaining weight. So to expand upon the nutrition part, I have actually worked at a Division I college where the director of strength and conditioning prescribed McDonald's 3 times a day to athletes trying to gain weight. Now, you guys know, I totally understand. Sometimes you need very calorically dense foods to help gain weight. I get it. Some of these kids have through-the-roof metabolism. But oftentimes in college, you have a 270-pound kid who already has too much body fat, and then you force feed him McDonald's to get him to 300 pounds, and then he becomes a 32% body fat kid. You really haven't done him much good. It's not good for his health. It's not good for performance. It's not good for long-term habit building. Let's remember, these are collegiate athletes. They're in college. These are college kids. And in a nutshell, there's just no need for 300-pound fatty McFattersons, right? I actually remember a strength and conditioning coach who multiple mornings a week would bring Burger King sandwiches and literally force the linemen to eat those and told them, forget fruits, forget vegetables. It's just not really the way to go at all. So that's one thing I love about this guy, is his focus on nutrition, and that will help these guys their entire life. Secondarily, there's a lot of strength coaches that literally do not understand basic programming. I don't know how they got their bachelor's degree, their master's degree. You should be able to get those principles. There are many that do not, and I can tell you right now what I've seen, especially the ones that are working for the premier schools, elite athletes, some of them skate by more so because they're working with elite athletes. I mean, look at a guy like Vernon Golston with Ohio State. He could swim, and he would have been just muscle on muscle, right? So with this gentleman, you know, he focuses on programming, on proper form, talks a lot about the posterior chain and how, you know, many high school athletes, very weak posterior chain, and really focusing on form and how you do the exercise, the quality of the movement. I saw a presentation where it said if it's not perfect, it's wrong. He will literally have guys do push-ups properly first before he throws a barbell in their hands to do the bench press, which I absolutely love. I'll tell you right now, more times than not, and I have literally been in at least 30 different Division I strength and conditioning around their program, and to seeing athletes work out to some degree, and in 70% of them, it is the most just atrocious form you've ever seen. Bouncing bench presses off their chest, terrible squat form. I've seen multiple college athletes tear pecs. Secondarily, athletes that have moved on from college and then torn their pec recreationally lifting because they were taught such poor things in college. So again, I'm real big on the posterior chain focus, the pulling movements. One thing unique about him is he actually does before and after photos. So again, that goes along with the food and nutrition and everything. It's not just about your scale weight. You know, it's about, you know, taking care of your body and building muscle, not just throwing on fat for the sake of throwing on fat. So those are some of the primary things. And again, some of these things might seem elementary. It might seem like every strength and conditioning coach, especially at top tier athletic programs, would know these concepts, but frankly, they don't. So anyways, if any of these tips can help you out, go with it. I think, you know, I know we didn't get into detail, but I think the point here is to reiterate that an absolute elite level of strength and conditioning, these are the core principles that I would use to literally train a 70-year-old woman. The tried and true methods of barbell movements, focus on nutrition, taking care of your body, overall health. That's the way they do it, guys. So with all that said, of course, go blue. Let me know what you think. I'm curious. Some of you guys that have been in, that were college athletes, I'd love to hear your stories about strength and conditioning directors and coaches. I've heard some absolute horror stories, and I've seen some in real life. So please feel free to share. We'd love to hear. Just don't name drop. That's probably not a great idea. All right, you guys have a good night, and go blue, and talk to you soon.